Today's video, I'm going to tell you about how you can use Chat GPT, which is a free tool, to be able to streamline, optimize, speed up, be efficient with recruitment, and just help you in various aspects of AmeriCorps recruitment. So the first question I get asked is, how do I get to Chat GPT? How do I even access it? So it's as simple as going to Google or your search engine of choice and putting in Chat GPT. The very first search result you'll see is introducing Chat GPT. This is the one you want, so click on that. Chat GPT is a product, if you will, of OpenAI. So that's why you see OpenAI here introducing Chat GPT. And then you're just going to want to go up here and click sign up. You can sign up with a Google account, or you can create a new account. The only thing that you'll need that is specific to creating an account with ChatGPT is a real phone number. I will say I tried to use my work phone, which is set up through a Google phone, Google Voice number, and it didn't allow that. So I ended up using my cell phone number. But otherwise, it's just like creating an account on anything else. I used Continue with Google and use my Google account. So you can also do it with Microsoft account or Apple account. And then you'll be in ChatGPT. All right, now once you're in ChatGPT, to orient you here, it keeps track of your chats on the left side of the screen. So ChatGPT keeps track of your chats on the left side. What I recommend is that every time you're doing something new within ChatGPT, which I'll explain what that might be and why you might want to do something in here, I recommend creating a new chat. Part of what makes ChatGPT so unique is that this is artificial intelligence. That's what the AI stands for. And this is a tool that leverages artificial intelligence to help you to synthesize information, to do online research, to write things. There's lots of different things that you can have it do for you. It's a language generator. So it bases off of the technology from Google that helps create smarter search results and helps to, fill in, like when you're typing and it suggests words. That's the same technology that powers this tool. So each time you create a new chat, it's going to try to learn based on the responses that you have with it and the interaction you have with it. So if you're doing something totally new, you want to create a new chat. If you want to have it build on what you've already done with it and get smarter and go deeper on something that you're working on with it, then you'll want to continue the same chat. So let me show you an example of something that I did in here. So one of the things that we find that AmeriCorps state commissions and AmeriCorps programs struggle with is they struggle with making the switch from doing the language that they need to write a grant or do a program report. It's usually very jargony, bureaucratic language, and then switching that language to doing marketing copy for your websites, for your flyers, for your social media accounts. So I thought, how could ChatGPT help us to do this really quickly and easily? So one thing that's helpful is within ChatGPT, you give it a prompt. So you put information down here in the prompt. So this is the history of what I did. So I gave it this prompt of, you are an online marketer who is writing copy for an AmeriCorps recruitment campaign. Take the text and rewrite it in a way that's easy to read and has clear calls to action. Here is the text. So basically, this ChatGPT is like your robot assistant, and it helps if you can give it some information to work off of. So telling it what you're asking it to do, saying you're an online marketer, as opposed to saying, you're writing a federal grant. You can actually give it the sense of what type of language you're looking for. You can either tell it kind of the type of language you're talking about, like saying online marketing language or writing website copy, or you can actually have it mimic other language. So that's something we could demonstrate if you want, but you can say, we want you to write this like, you can even use really well done AmeriCorps programs like City Year. We want you to write in the style of City Year at cityyear.org, and it will try to mimic that language. So it's a very powerful robot assistant, but it does need you to give it the instructions and guidance to know what it should do for you. So here's the text that I copy and pasted. I copy and pasted this from Serve Alaska's website. So that's all you have to do. It is a language generator, so it's working off of language. So you need to copy and paste text in there. Or you can ask it for answers from information that's on the website. Or not on the website, but on the internet, which we'll show you in a minute. Okay, so I copied and pasted that, and then this is what the AI came back with. And you can see it did a nice bolded headline, Join AmeriCorps Alaska, Make a Difference Today, with a nice little question. And as you can see, this is taking into consideration marketing copy language. How should it reframe the information that you had and put it into more compelling language that has a more easy to read and call to action format. So it formatted all of this, put the program information into this format, and then here it re-spits out that same information from the website, but it puts it in easy to read information about the benefits of being an AmeriCorps member. I think it did a pretty good job of this, especially for its first try. And then has this clear call to action at the end. Click here to start your AmeriCorps journey. So if you like this, what it just did, and you want to use that in your website, what you would do is you would just go to the top of its answer. And over here on the right, you can click this clipboard and you can copy and paste it. So by clicking this, it copies it, and then you can just go into your website and paste it and use what you've got, or paste it and then edit it, which is what I'd recommend. You can also tell the AI, did it do a good job or a bad job on this? So I'm going to give it a thumbs up because I think it did a good job. You can give it additional feedback. So this is still a tool that, it's probably always going to be evolving, but it is very actively in the process of learning right now. And so you can help your robot assistant to learn by giving it specific feedback. And you can educate it and make it smarter on how to help you. You can also just talk back to it. So if you're in the same chat, this is what I talked about, having one chat versus starting a new chat. If you're in the same chat, you can build on what it already did for you. So that's where I said, okay, that was good. Now create 3 social media posts targeted at 18 to 21-year-olds about the AmeriCorps opportunities in the text you just used. The cool thing about Chat GPT, as opposed to many other tools that existed prior, is that it is meant to be this language model that works off of a chat. So when it calls it a chat, it really is a chat. You can chat back to it and get responses. So once I asked it that, this is its response. So it created these social media posts. It can bring in emojis, as you can see, hashtags. It's going to use the format of what it sees on the internet to build these social media posts. And again, I think it did a pretty good job on that. Certainly a great starting point. If it doesn't have the link, it gives you the suggestion of, then add and insert that link. So I thought it did okay, but I said try again, but this time make the post shorter with language that would appeal to college students. So now it's able to redo its own work and make those adjustments. So as you see, you can read what it created, and then instead of you doing the editing, you can give it another try of saying, all right, this is what I liked, but this is what I'd like to see more of. If you just wanted to do the same thing again, there is also this regenerate button where it will use the exact same prompt and it'll just try again and give you something different. So then the other piece that I did here was to do that same prompt from the beginning, but I gave it language from this program called the Alaska Public Defender Agency. This program was one that it's housed within government. It had that typical government language. This is text I took directly from its website. I just copied and pasted. And as you can see, it had it in these big paragraphs, and it wasn't written in necessarily an easy to read and compelling way. So I asked it to pretend to be the marketing copywriter and make it more compelling. So it brings that same information, but it gives you this nice header, this more compelling opening sentence. And then I love how it breaks it down into these different paragraphs about what you'll do, your impactful service sites, who should apply. I mean, that did a really good job. In fact, I should make sure to give the robot a check and let it know, great job, because we really like what it did there. So again, if you like this and you want to update your website with it, you just hit copy and then you copy and paste that onto your website. So you can hopefully see that for improving things that you've already written, or taking what you've already written for maybe a program description, but converting that into a different format, like social media posts, like if you've already got a bunch of program information, you want to turn that into a frequently asked questions document, you can do that really quickly. That's all easy ways to very quickly use Chat GPT to just lessen your workload and allow you to have the power of different styles of writing generated off of all the work you've already done to put in these program descriptions, this grant information. Here's just another example on that same thread. So you can have it write in a certain style. So in this case, I gave it the prompt of write a blog post about how to use the Siegel Education Award. And I asked it to reference the official website from AmeriCorps.gov, as well as text that I provided to the AI, which was the handout that I've used in my trainings about the Education Award. And then this is a neat trick that I've learned, which is you can say, write in the style of, in this case, myself. So write in the style of Sharon Tewksbury Bloom at dogoodbegood.us. So that allows you to build on your existing work. If you have already put a lot of effort into creating materials and you want to make sure you have that cohesive brand and that same voice in what you do, you can actually have it reference your own website, your own information, so that it keeps that consistency. So I thought it did an okay job with this. It wasn't its best work, but I could continue to build on this. I think the Education Award is, in fact, very complicated and hard to explain. So I gave it a bunch of tips from my, this is all still the stuff I copied from my handout. So here's the work that it did. So it wrote this blog post about a comprehensive guide to the Siegel Education Award. And I thought it did some nice things. I might copy and paste parts of this, but I think there's a lot that I've already written on it that is probably this is no better than some of the stuff that I already have on it. So we could then use this, though, for example, to build on to say, okay, I want you, let's say, create a frequently asked questions style document based on the information about the Siegel Education Award. See what it does with that. So here's the example of what you actually do when you're in ChatGPT. You have this chat window, you put a question in there, and let's see. When you hit that send button, it starts generating. And as you can see, this happens in real time, happens in seconds. So right now it's still generating, which is why there's that stop button. But as soon as that stop button goes away, that means it's done with its work and it has created the answer. So it's pretty remarkable to see how quickly it can do this. So it's starting to build the answers. It's still working on it. Oh, here we go. It's done. Okay, let me go back up so I can read from the beginning. So frequently asked questions. What is it? How long do I have to use it? Can I get an extension? So it's doing a great job. It's pulling from the information we already gave it on the handout, but also from the information from the federal website, and be able to tell people their answers. So you can see how this is great for resources like the Education Award. You can copy and paste this as a resource for your AmeriCorps members. Of course, you do want to review it. You want to make sure it's accurate, but it really saves you time in creating your first draft. And then you could also do something like this for your program. So you give it copy and paste your program information from your website, or from maybe you have a member manual, something like that. Copy and paste that into Chat GPT and say, okay, now can you take this same text and turn it into a frequently asked questions style document? It just helps you reformat things in a way that is saving you tons of time. All right, let me show you one last thing that I would recommend using ChatGPT for now. Okay, so here's the last one that I tried. I will mention something I've tried that hasn't worked very well. I've tried using ChatGPT for research, like, can you give me a contact list for all the academic advisors in a certain area? It will not pull contact information for you. It will not do a great job of getting like an accurate list of programs. It can't give you, I've asked it, how many AmeriCorps members are serving in a specific state. It doesn't do a great job with real-time data or anything like that. So there are limitations. There are things that it's not great at, but it does great with things that are about writing and consolidating information, rewriting things like that. So another one I tried is giving it the sense that you're an AmeriCorps recruiter, create a list of interview questions that would be used to interview someone. So it did a pretty good job. It's got, I probably wouldn't use all of these questions, but certainly it gives you a nice place to start from, or to compare to your current list of interview questions. Okay, well, as you might have heard, my cat is demanding that I pay attention to her instead of talking about ChatGPT. I think she's getting tired of it already. So I hope that you have had some inspiration about how you might be able to use this free tool to be able to give you first drafts, to give you the expertise of people you don't have on your team, like people with copywriting expertise. And I would love to hear from you about how you're using it, what questions you have, what experiments you'd love to hear more about. And let's figure it out together, because I think that we are doing work that could use the leverage of technology to be able to have a greater impact. And I'd love to help you do that.